Your hair is speaking, even when you're silent. It records every emotional low, every burst of hope, every forgotten intention. And the more we ignore this truth, the more we mistake appearance for alignment. Because in Feng Shui, beauty is not the goal, it's the reflection. And your hair is one of the most misunderstood mirrors in your energetic field. Think about it. We wash it, color it, cut it, twist it, but rarely pause to ask, what energy is this strand holding? What memory did it keep from the heartbreak I never healed? What story is it still whispering from the tribe I outgrew but never released? Your scalp, your crown, is one of the most spiritually sensitive points of the entire body. And yet, every day, most people rush through hair care as if it's just maintenance, just routine. But in truth, the way you treat your hair reveals how much clarity you allow yourself to carry, how much power you believe you're worthy of holding, and how much energy you unknowingly either invite or block from flowing into your life. This isn't about superstition. This is about resonance. This is about the invisible threads that determine whether you walk into a room and feel scattered or centered, whether your ideas fall flat or take flight, and whether your future feels like a fog or a field of possibility. So if you've ever wondered why clarity slips away when you need it most, why success feels like something you chase but never hold, or why you still feel stuck despite changing everything around you, this video may hold the one answer you've never looked for, but have always carried. Because what sits on your head doesn't just finish your look, it finishes your signal. And the right haircut at the right time can act like energetic acupuncture for your destiny. That's what we're diving into today. A deep, grounded look at how the way you style, cut, and care for your hair can either hold you back or elevate everything you touch. And I'm not just going to tell you what looks good. I'm going to help you feel what aligns, not based on trends, not based on aesthetics, but based on energy, wisdom, and flow. So before we go deeper into how your hair can help unlock clarity, prosperity, and peace, I ask you gently, if you value this kind of content, if it speaks to something deeper inside you, please take a moment to give this video a like, a share, and subscribe to New Day Mindfulness. I'm on a mission to reach 5,000 followers, not for numbers, but so I can continue sharing this kind of thoughtful, restorative guidance with you and others like you. Because what we're building here isn't just a channel, it's a sanctuary of wisdom, a place where energy makes sense, where home feels like healing, and where even something as simple as your hair can become a tool for transformation. Number 1, forehead revealing styles. Some blockages don't come from within. They sit quietly on top, unnoticed, like a soft curtain over a window. And that curtain might be your bangs. Let's talk honestly. We spend so much time trying to polish our minds, reading books, journaling, visualizing, setting goals, but forget to ask a very simple question. What physical space does clarity need to breathe? In Feng Shui, the forehead is more than skin. It is your command tower, your executive dashboard, the energy of mental direction, decision-making, timing, ambition. All of it is radiated and received through this energetic gate. But here's the problem. When we constantly hide it, whether through long bangs, heavy hats, or darkened makeup styles, we don't just alter our appearance. We blur the energetic signals trying to pass through. If you feel like you've been stuck in indecision, foggy thinking, or a repeating pattern of delayed progress, you might be unintentionally dimming your mental gateway. In traditional Chinese face reading and Feng Shui alignment, the upper zone of the face, especially the forehead, corresponds to the heaven realm. That means this zone carries your intuition, your destiny timeline. Your ability to attract opportunities that align with purpose, not just survival. When your forehead is energetically blocked, the messages from above, your higher reasoning, your goals, even your spiritual insights, struggle to land. Imagine trying to drive at night with fogged up glass. You keep moving, yes, but slower, hesitantly, maybe even veering off course. That's exactly what happens in life when this area is hidden too often or closed off energetically. You don't need to change who you are, but you do need to ask if the way you wear your hair day after day is matching your desire for mental expansion. Let's be clear, this is not about fashion judgment. You can express yourself however you wish. But if your goal is clearer thinking, stronger leadership, or more decisive movement in your life, then exposing the forehead, even occasionally, can make a subtle but powerful shift. When the skin of the forehead is open to light, it receives. When it's visually available to others, it projects confidence. These are not cosmetic effects, they are energetic signals. Think about this. Every leader you admire, every person whose presence commands respect in a room, they often carry an open forehead. Whether they know Feng Shui or not, their presentation aligns with the ancient wisdom that presence begins not at the mouth, but at the crown and brow. The open forehead tells the world, I'm alert, I'm aware, I see what's ahead. It also tells your own nervous system, I'm not hiding, I'm not protecting, I'm stepping forward. If you've been in a cycle of hiding, second-guessing, or feeling invisible, consider whether part of that feeling is being reinforced by your own styling habits. This doesn't mean you can never wear bangs or cover your forehead, but it does mean being intentional. Ask yourself, when I have an important meeting, do I still cover my forehead? When I'm setting goals, do I light a candle and journal, but sit with half my heaven gate blocked? Do I meditate or visualize with my hair shadowing my brow? These are subtle signals that compound over time. Energetically, light needs space. Thought needs room. Opportunity needs visibility. If your body language, starting with your face, is saying not now, the world might respond accordingly. Let's go deeper. In Feng Shui, the brow area also connects to the career palace when mapped energetically. That means it relates to not just your thinking, but your path forward. Are you unconsciously shading your path? Are you saying, I want clarity, while sending signals of concealment? The reason this small choice matters so much is because energy doesn't just listen to your words, it listens to your patterns. If every day begins with a gesture that dims your own light, even if it's something you do for style, it may be time to reevaluate whether the style is serving your spirit. This isn't about drastic change. Even parting your hair differently, lifting your bangs on certain days, or applying a bit of shimmer to highlight the forehead area can send a new message. I'm ready, I see clearly, I want to be seen. And here's a powerful exercise. The next time you prepare for a new week, a new project, or a big goal, spend 5 minutes with your forehead fully revealed to the sun or a clean, bright light. Close your eyes, speak your intention aloud. Let your command center feel acknowledged, not hidden. Let the light enter. You'd be surprised how this simple act creates a subtle internal shift. Now let's talk about balance. There are cases where people overexpose this area, shaving, waxing, or overly plucking eyebrows in a way that distorts the natural energy flow. In Feng Shui, the brows act like guards or archways. They channel and shape the energy moving across the forehead. So while opening the space matters, maintaining harmony and softness is equally important. Avoid styles that overemphasize harshness, sharp edges, or complete erasure of brow features. We're not replacing one blockage with another. We're inviting clarity, not control. Beauty and energy don't need to fight, they can flow together. So the question becomes, are you dressing your destiny or dimming it? If your ambitions have felt fuzzy, if your leadership doesn't land, if your decisions take too long to form, or fall apart halfway through, don't just look at your planner. Look at your presentation. The forehead is where signals meet action. If you want more impact in the external world, start by revealing the source of insight within you. This might sound too simple to work, but in Feng Shui, simplicity often hides the deepest truths, because it's never been just about hair. It's about honoring the message your energy wants to send. You are not here to shrink, not here to blend in. You are here to rise with presence, with clarity, with the full command of your direction. And sometimes that rise begins with the smallest shift, letting light touch the part of you that guides your path forward. And remember, if this message stirred something in you, helped you look at your own habits with fresh eyes, or made you feel seen, I invite you to share it. Subscribe to New Day Mindfulness. Help us reach 5,000 followers so we can continue to share this kind of grounded, practical Feng Shui that empowers not just your home, but your life, because your space matters, your energy matters, and the story you're becoming starts at the crown. Number 2, fresh, short hair. There are moments in life when something ends, a relationship, a phase of belief, and the residue of that ending doesn't just live in memory. It lingers in your body. It settles in your nervous system. And for many, it quietly embeds itself in your hair. Hair, after all, is more than keratin and color. It is a personal archive. It holds on to signals, emotions, identity markers, and energetic signatures. And while you can change your clothes or shift your routine, the energy stored in your hair often lingers long after a chapter has closed. That's why so many people, often instinctively, reach for scissors after a heartbreak. Not for fashion, not for trend, but for release, because deep down, whether they've studied energy or not, they feel the truth of this simple insight. When the weight of the past becomes too heavy to carry, even an inch less on your crown can feel like breathing room for your soul. This isn't symbolic fluff. It's nervous system wisdom. It's energetic hygiene. When you cut your hair short after emotional turbulence, it does more than alter your appearance. It signals to your energy field that you're no longer willing to carry what once defined you, that you're ready to lighten the crown, that you are willing to let go. And letting go doesn't mean forgetting or dismissing the past. It means disentangling your spirit from the stagnation it left behind. And that is where shortcuts become powerful. Not because they erase the pain, but because they declare, visibly, unapologetically, that the pain is no longer in charge. In Feng Shui, the crown of the head corresponds to the heaven sector of your body's energetic map. It's where inspiration arrives, clarity descends, and divine timing can unfold. But when that crown is heavy, with old stories, grief, confusion, or identity that no longer serves you, it gets blocked. Inspiration gets muffled. Timing goes off track. Decisions feel foggy, and you may find yourself stuck in cycles of repetition without knowing why. That's why cutting the hair short, especially after loss, transition, or burnout, can be so grounding. You're not just removing length, you're clearing static, you're wiping the smudges off your internal lens. You're saying, I choose movement, I choose lightness, I choose to stop wearing the energetic costume of who I no longer am. Now let's go deeper into the emotional current behind this change. Many people think of short haircuts as statements of style. But in energetic work, we understand they're statements of state. A woman cuts her hair after divorce, not to look different, but to feel different. A man shaves his head after leaving a toxic workplace, not for rebellion, but for release. A mother trims her ends after years of caretaking, not to rebel, but to reclaim. And in each case, the act itself becomes a ritual of transformation. Quiet, personal, yet profoundly effective. In my experience working with clients who have navigated deep emotional valleys, those who made the conscious decision to cut their hair short often reported a noticeable shift in how they felt, not just lighter physically, but mentally clearer, more emotionally mobile, and spiritually recalibrated. And they didn't just feel better because they looked fresh. They felt better because their nervous system finally registered a change, and their energetic blueprint finally caught up with the truth they had been hiding from. That the season they were in before was over, that it was okay to begin again. Let's talk about the common mistake many people make during periods of grief or burnout. They hold on to old images of themselves, hoping familiarity will offer comfort. But in doing so, they unintentionally delay the release that transformation requires. They wake up every morning and see a version of themselves in the mirror that belongs to a time they have already outgrown. And that dissonance between who they see and who they're becoming creates energetic friction. It's like trying to write a new story on the same chalkboard without ever erasing what was there before. Eventually, the message gets muddled. Eventually, the signal gets weak. That's why cutting the hair short is not about rejecting the past. It's about making space for the future. And for those who worry about appearing too bold, too different, or too sudden, let me offer this. There is no timeline for healing, but there is always a moment where courage outweighs comfort. And when you feel that moment rise, don't dismiss it. Honor it. Follow it. Trust that your body knows when to lighten the load. And trust that your intuition recognizes the power of visual shift. Because when you shorten your hair after sorrow, you're not erasing your story. You're resetting your resonance. Some might ask, isn't this just a cosmetic change? And the answer is yes, but also deeply no. On the surface, it's scissors on strands. Beneath that, it's a nervous system reconfiguration. It's a pattern interruption. It's an energetic release valve for a psyche that's been carrying more than it admits. In fact, many healers and energy workers recommend shortcuts during key phases of transition, especially after the completion of karmic patterns, the exit from unhealthy relationships, or the ending of careers that no longer align. Because hair holds history, and cutting it is a symbolic yet physical way to clear that record. Let me offer a few reflections that might resonate with your own story. If you've been waking up each day feeling dull, unclear, or emotionally full, even though your circumstances have changed, your hair might be holding on to energy you haven't processed. If you feel like your progress is stalling despite your efforts to move forward, your crown might still be echoing past frequency. And if you find yourself craving change, but fearing the disruption it brings, start with the smallest visible reset you can control: your hair. Now, for those in grief, cutting your hair doesn't cure heartbreak, but it can soften the edges of it. It can help you create a new rhythm. It can help you symbolically express what your words cannot yet carry. And for those in burnout, it can help your body recognize that the cycle is over, that you don't need to live in perpetual motion anymore, that you can stop, reset, begin again, even if it's just 1 inch at a time. For those in toxic cycles, be it emotional, relational, or mental, short hair can become your declaration. I am no longer available for the energy that drains me. I release the mask, I release the memory, I release the muscle tension that I've been clenching at my scalp for months, maybe even years. And in doing so, you open the portal for clarity. You make space for renewal. You start breathing into the parts of your life that have long been holding their breath. In Feng Shui, movement creates opportunity. Stillness is sacred, but stagnation is not. And when the energy around your head, your most intuitive and cognitive area, is stale, tangled, or heavy, It mirrors that same heaviness into your decision-making, your timing, your ability to lead, and your capacity to attract aligned experiences. So cutting your hair short doesn't just reset your appearance. It resets the energetic pattern that governs how you meet the world and how the world responds to you. Let me emphasize this final reflection. When you choose to cut your hair in a moment of truth, not out of trend, not out of panic, but out of presence, you activate a type of power that no product or polish can offer. You align with authenticity. You tell the world, I've shifted, and you tell yourself, I'm ready. And if you feel resistance to this idea, ask yourself, what am I afraid will happen if I look new? If I feel new, if I no longer carry the visual weight of what I've survived. Sometimes the fear is not about change. It's about who we will become once we stop performing the old story. So as we close this section, let this message sink in. Hair grows, but your pain doesn't have to grow with it. And if you've been carrying too much on your crown, it's okay to cut away what no longer belongs. Not because you're erasing anything, but because you're honoring everything it took to get here and choosing a lighter, clearer, freer version of the road ahead. Now your path is yours again. Your crown is cleared. Your next step, that's up to you. Number 3, side swept bangs. There's something quietly powerful about a hairstyle that doesn't scream for attention, but shifts energy with precision. And the side swept bang is exactly that. It doesn't hide, it doesn't dominate, it guides. It shapes perception, not through boldness, but through balance. In Feng Shui terms, your face is not simply a surface, it is an active, energetic map. And when you sweep the hair gently across the forehead without completely covering it, you're not just making a style choice. You're literally bridging two powerful centers, emotion and intellect. The left and right hemispheres of your brain operate with distinct but complementary roles. One side reaches inward, into memory, feeling, empathy. The other reaches outward, into logic, decision-making, strategy. And between these two poles lies your ability to respond, to lead, to create, and to understand. The beauty of the side-swept style is that it invites both energies into dialogue, rather than allowing one to override the other. That's why this look holds such resonance for planners, artists, negotiators, and anyone who spends their days in the intersection of feeling and thinking. Let's get something clear. Energy doesn't just respond to what we say, it responds to what we shape and how we shape it. Our hair, being the most elevated and exposed extension of the nervous system, is constantly broadcasting signals, not in mysticism, but in impression, tone, and command presence. A balanced hairline invites balanced attention. It says, I am here, I see both sides, I move with care. This isn't about vanity, it's about energetic coherence. And especially for those whose life paths involve communication, counseling, creative leadership, or collaboration, that coherence can mean the difference between chaos and breakthrough. Now, why does this matter to you? Because chances are, if you're drawn to this message, you are someone who either leads, serves, or inspires others. And that means every edge of your presence, from how you enter a room to how you turn your head, communicates something deeper. If your current hairstyle crowds your face, blocks one eye, or feels visually asymmetrical in a jarring way, your field may be registering as emotionally erratic or mentally indecisive. But the side-swept shape, when tailored mindfully, offers a kind of internal choreography. It's not symmetrical perfection, it's harmonious flow. And Feng Shui isn't obsessed with perfection. It values movement, balance, and resonance. That's what this cut quietly encourages. Not loud drama, not visual noise, but elegant psychological rhythm. Let's go deeper. In traditional Feng Shui face mapping, the forehead governs foresight and command, how you perceive options before they happen, how you navigate responsibility. The upper right and left corners, called the career corner and support corner, respectively, represent how you balance instinct versus structure, and also your relationship with authority and emotional boundaries. When hair is styled to diagonally interact with these zones, rather than covering or flattening them, it creates an energetic conversation, one that supports assertive softness, clear empathy, decisive compassion. And that's not just a poetic concept, that's strategic alignment, especially for women and men in caregiving roles, leadership positions, or emotionally charged industries. But let's not reduce this to theory. Think about the moments in your life when you had to both feel deeply and choose clearly. When you had to manage crisis, lead a conversation, or make a heartfelt decision under pressure. In those moments, your internal equilibrium mattered more than any external script. This style supports that kind of poise, not by controlling your energy, but by suggesting coherence. There's no superstition here, only symbolism. When you allow hair to flow without overhanging, when you respect the visual line of the eyes and the openness of the face, you're reinforcing a larger message. I am whole, integrated, and in motion. From a construction perspective, and yes, energy works through structure, the side-swept design mimics the architectural principle of cantilevered support, a form that distributes weight asymmetrically for both tension and elegance. It's this structural metaphor that makes the style so profound. You don't need everything to be even, you need it to be in intelligent tension, just like your decisions, just like your relationships. That's the power of the side sweep. It reminds you that harmony doesn't mean sameness, it means thoughtful placement. Let's talk psychological tone. People reading your face, whether consciously or not, are looking for signals: openness, trustworthiness, depth, steadiness. If your hair covers both brows or eyes too heavily, it can imply concealment or hesitation. But when it softly flows across the upper quadrant, revealing the contours of the forehead and temple, it gives the viewer a sense of natural access to your expressions. This enhances relational ease. People feel you're emotionally available but not exposed. That's a subtle but powerful Feng Shui truth. Energy flows best where it feels both guided and welcome. That's what this style does. It doesn't yell. It invites. It doesn't demand. It directs. Now, some might wonder, isn't this reading too much into something simple? It's just hair, right? But that's the very belief that keeps most people from harnessing their full presence. Hair is not just style, it's narrative, it's direction. And when worn unconsciously, it becomes the silent repetition of old stories, defensive habits, buried grief, forgotten power. But when worn with clarity, especially in styles that guide rather than block, it becomes a mirror for our intention. Your hair doesn't just frame your face, it frames the way you're read by the world. And more importantly, the way you read yourself. This isn't about trends. This isn't about copying a celebrity. It's about tuning your physical choices to your internal compass. And that's what we do here at New Today Mindfulness. We don't chase looks, we honor energy. We don't shame old choices, we awaken new ones. And the sideswept cut is a choice of balance, of poetic reason, of grounded strength. It says you are soft enough to listen and sharp enough to act. And in a world that constantly demands quick reactions, that kind of inner pacing is rare and deeply needed. So let's summarize the resonance here. If you're someone who often feels caught between emotional overload and mental fatigue, this style could help recalibrate your field. If you work in emotionally demanding environments, this shape offers composure without repression. If your path involves leading others through complex terrain, This subtle adjustment in hair could become a tool for deeper presence, not just appearance. It's a reminder that your energy isn't about extremes. It's about alignment, and you don't need to change your entire look to experience a shift. Sometimes one mindful angle is enough to rewire how you meet the world. Before we close this section, remember this. You don't have to choose between intuition and structure, between creativity and discipline, between heart and mind. You were made to carry both. The way you wear your hair can either amplify that truth or mute it. And when we understand that even our smallest choices are expressions of alignment, we start living with more peace, more clarity, and more quiet confidence. If this insight resonated with you, take a moment to reflect, not just on your haircut, but on your energy. Are you broadcasting balance or burying it? And if you found something helpful in this reflection, I invite you to like this video, share it with someone who needs this message, and subscribe to New Day Mindfulness. Let's build a home not just with walls, but with wisdom. Let's design our energy, not just our furniture, because in the end, the way you style your day is the way you shape your destiny, and every strand matters. Number 4, light waves. If everything around you has felt hard lately, hard to decide, hard to trust, hard to breathe, then maybe it's not your life that's the problem. Maybe it's the way your energy has been shaped. And in Feng Shui, nothing shapes energy more subtly or more constantly than the patterns you wear on your body. So let's talk about something that might seem cosmetic on the surface, but is deeply magnetic underneath. Your hair, specifically. Gentle waves, light texture, movement that mirrors water. Because when life feels rigid, when emotions feel stuck, when relationships feel brittle, your body is quietly asking for softness, for flow, for a loosening of grip. And this is where the wisdom of gentle waves comes in. Think about water. It doesn't force, it doesn't rush, it doesn't demand attention, and yet it shapes everything. The strongest mountains over time are carved by gentle currents. Oceans reshape coastlines without ever raising their voice. That's power. That's persuasion. That's presence without aggression. And this is what gentle waves in your hairstyle help you tap into. They carry the frequency of ease. They signal that you are aligned not with stress or strain, but with grace, with cooperation, with receptivity. In Feng Shui, water energy is associated with movement, communication, wisdom, and emotional intelligence. And unlike fire, which charges forward, or metal, which cuts to the point, water doesn't confront. It collaborates, it listens, it adapts. So when you wear waves in your hair, whether naturally or styled, you're not just adding volume or beauty, you're sending out a signal. I'm open, I'm trustworthy, I'm in sync with life. And the world responds to that. People lean in, conversations flow, support shows up, not because you chased it, but because you softened enough to receive it. Now let's look deeper. Why do so many healers, coaches, therapists, community builders, and yes, even intuitive leaders gravitates toward this look, even subconsciously? Because your outer energy is often a direct mirror of your inner state. When your energy is too linear, too tightly controlled, too focused on productivity over presence, you become brittle, unapproachable. Even if you're smart, even if your heart is in the right place, people don't feel safe. Gentle waves change that. They visually and energetically suggest flexibility, compassion, openness. And in a world starved for empathy, that kind of signal is magnetic. This isn't about style trends. This is about energetic resonance. The texture of your hair becomes a quiet language. Straight, severe lines say, I'm precise, structured, focused. And that has power, especially in moments that demand clarity. But when you need connection, when you're navigating emotions, when you want to draw in collaboration instead of control, gentle waves give permission. They invite trust. They let others exhale. Let's get practical. How can you invite this energy if you weren't born with naturally wavy hair? You don't need a dramatic transformation. Even the suggestion of wave, a soft bend, a little lift at the ends, a loosened ponytail, can shift the vibe. This is not about copying a look, it's about embodying a frequency. A gentle texture around the face can soften your expressions. It can signal that while your mind may be sharp, your spirit is tender. And that combination of intelligence and empathy is incredibly compelling. But here's something most people miss. The placement of your waves matters too. Waves that frame the face invite personal connection. Waves that fall near the shoulders create emotional openness. Layers that move in the back signal flexibility with the past and openness to growth. Every curl, every movement becomes a message. I'm not stuck in survival, I'm flowing towards something better. There's also a neurological benefit to consider. Our nervous systems respond to rhythm, to natural patterns. And when you wear your hair in a shape that mirrors the rhythm of nature, flowing, soft, variable, you're sending calming signals back to your own brain. That means less reactivity, more creativity, less performance, more authenticity. You stop fighting the moment and you start flowing with it. Of course, this doesn't mean gentle waves are for everyone all the time. There are moments when bold structure or clean lines serve a purpose, especially in business, legal, or technical spaces. But when your season of life calls for healing, for connection, for emotional strength that doesn't need to shout, gentle waves speak clearly. They say, I'm here, I'm calm, I can hold space without needing to fill it. This is especially relevant if you're a parent, a counselor, a creative, or someone navigating personal change. Because gentle waves don't just soften how others see you, they soften how you see yourself. They remind you that you don't have to control everything, that your value isn't in your performance, that your worth doesn't need to be straightened, tightened, or ironed out. Sometimes letting your edges breathe is the most powerful thing you can do. Let's also talk about spiritual symbolism for a moment, but in a grounded way. In ancient traditions, hair was considered a sensory organ, a way of tuning in. Think of it as your body's antenna. The more rigid your signal becomes, the more distorted the reception. But gentle waves help you receive. They allow you to tune into subtle changes, to feel what others can't say, to trust your gut even when logic fails. And in today's noisy world, that's not softness, it's a superpower. So what if you tried it? What if, just for a week, you let your hair soften? What if you embraced a little movement, not just on your head, but in your habits, your thoughts, your responses? You might find that people respond differently, that conversations flow more easily, that your creativity returns, that problems feel a little less heavy and solutions come with less resistance. Because that's what happens when you align with water. Life stops being a wall to push through and becomes a current to guide you. This is the invitation of gentle waves, not to be someone else, not to perform calmness, but to remember who you are when you are not in fight mode, to restore rhythm, to choose ease, not because life is easy, but because you've earned the right to stop carrying tension as your identity. And that is the essence of this section. When life feels too sharp, let your edges curve. When the world feels too fast, let your movement slow. And when you forget how to feel, let water remind you. Because energy isn't always about force. Sometimes it's about flow. Let your hair reflect that. Let your presence invite that. Let your energy become magnetic, not because you're chasing, but because you're aligned. Number 5, high ponytail or half up. There's a reason kings wear crowns, yogis close their eyes at the top of the breath, and athletes lift their chins before a sprint. The crown of your head is not just a biological endpoint, it's a spiritual antenna, a directional gateway, a broadcast tower for the life you're declaring. And in Feng Shui, where intention meets environment, your body is the first environment you inhabit. That means every choice you make about it, how you walk, how you speak, and yes, how you wear your hair, carries an energetic ripple with real-world impact. So let's talk about the ponytail, especially the high one. This isn't just a hairstyle, it's an elevation ritual. What sits on your crown signals what you command. If your energy feels scattered, passive, or overly reactive, look no further than the top of your head. In traditional Feng Shui, the crown is associated with the heaven trigram, linked to ambition, clarity, decision-making, and upward motion. Elevating your hair physically toward this point, it isn't cosmetic, it's architectural. It shapes your posture, which shapes your presence, which shapes how others, and even opportunity itself, respond to you. A high ponytail does something subtle but powerful. It elongates the neck, straightens the spine, and draws the visual field of others up, toward your ideas, your leadership, your movement forward. And when paired with inner clarity, it becomes a signal to the universe. I'm not here to play small. The problem is, most people wear their hair based on trend or habit, not based on energetic alignment. They don't realize that some styles keep them mentally foggy, emotionally heavy, or energetically passive. They get used to letting their hair fall around them like a shield, but in doing so, they're also shielding themselves from growth. They avoid tension, so they avoid tight hair altogether, forgetting that some tension is necessary to pull our lives upward. This is where the ponytail offers a paradox. When too tight, it triggers stress, pressure, and frustration. But when balanced, firm but not strained, it sharpens your focus, reinforces your resolve, and aligns you with what you've been trying to manifest. For goal-setting days, major meetings, interviews, public speaking, or creative execution, this is a style that partners with your ambition. And that's no accident. In many martial traditions, fighters tie their hair high before a battle, not because of vanity, but because it keeps vision clear, energy centered, and spirit forward. In the modern context, the battle might be a boardroom, a studio, or a quiet moment at your desk where you decide to finally finish the project that's been haunting your calendar. Wherever you need your energy to rise, your crown must be unobstructed, and your chi must know where to go. Let's be clear, this isn't about gender, beauty standards, or social approval. It's about design, energetic design, because your hair is a strand of your nervous system. It remembers, it transmits, it responds. And when you gather it with intention, when you lift it toward your highest point, you're not just styling, you're scripting, you're writing a message that says, I'm showing up fully. That's why some of the most decisive, grounded, and dynamic people naturally gravitate toward high ponytails or top knots. They've learned, consciously or not, that elevation equals activation. But here's the caution. If you wear a high ponytail every day, without reflection, it can become just another unconscious armor. And in Feng Shui, stagnation is the enemy of clarity. So instead of defaulting to this style, think of it as a ritual tool, something you choose when you need to rise, when you need to reset, when you need to remember that your thoughts, your plans, and your future will leave at the top of your energetic ladder. Climb it intentionally. Now for those who feel awkward with their hair up or who think that's just not me, pause and check in. Are you resisting the look? Or are you resisting what the look might unlock? Sometimes when we raise our outer posture, we stir up inner voices. Voices that say you're too old, you're not that important, or who do you think you are to step into that role? And that's the point. That resistance isn't a sign to back off. It's a sign you've touched something real, something potent, something that your old self might fear, but your aligned self is ready for. So if you feel it, lean in, even for a day, even for an hour. Notice how your body changes, how your mind focuses, how you carry yourself through space differently. This is especially powerful for students, speakers, business leaders, coaches, and those navigating major transitions. Because during moments of change, your outer symbolism matters more than ever. A high ponytail on a day of uncertainty can become your anchor. A tether to self-trust, a visible commitment to holding your head high when everything else feels unclear. And in the energy world, clarity always attracts. It's magnetism through posture. If you want success to rise in your life, your energy has to rise first. That's not philosophy. That's physiology, psychology, and Feng Shui. And the crown of your head, that's ground zero for that rise. So take a moment tomorrow, or even today, to gather your energy up physically and mentally. Tie it with purpose, and notice what shifts. Because the truth is this: small changes in how we treat our physical form lead to large changes in how life meets us. And this seemingly simple act of a high ponytail, is one of the fastest, clearest, and most effective energetic recalibrations you can make. So don't underestimate it. Don't dismiss it. And above all, don't do it without intention. Because intention is what turns habit into power. If you've ever felt like your focus is slipping, your confidence is shaky, or your ambition feels clouded, your crown might need a lift. And now you know how, so rise. Pull your energy up and let the world feel the signal of someone who knows what they came to command. Hair mistakes that silently block your energy. You could have the perfect haircut, a style that flatters your face, that feels current, that even aligns with your bump or social image. And yet something still feels off. Your mind feels foggy, your presence dull, your instincts less sharp than they used to be. You walk into a room and instead of turning heads, you fade into the background. Your voice trembles just a little more. Your clarity seems to dim. Why? Because it was never just about style. It was about synergy. Because even if your hairstyle is outwardly aligned, if your habits around your hair are energetically off, you're sending mixed signals to the universe, and you're the one absorbing the consequences. This is the part of the video most people don't expect. It's the quiet corner most ignore. But it's here, where invisible missteps shape our visible results. Let's begin with something so common, it's become ritual. Going to sleep with wet hair. Maybe it's out of habit or fatigue, or because a warm shower helps you unwind before bed. But what if I told you that this one routine, repeated night after night, is inviting yang, stagnation, straight into your crown chakra, the very center of clarity and perception? In Feng Shui and traditional energy mapping, your head, especially the crown area, is considered a primary portal of exchange between your inner essence and the outer energetic field. When you sleep with wet hair, you're not just resting with moisture on your scalp. You're absorbing the heaviest energy of the night into your most sensitive receiving zone. Moisture and coolness create a yin environment, sis. And when this happens during the darkest yang hours of the night, that energy doesn't circulate, it settles, it pools, it stagnates. And you know what that feels like when you wake up? Mental fog, emotional dullness, slower reaction time, less decisive thought. Not because your brain is broken, but because your energetic gateway was dampened, quite literally, by a wet crown sealed into a pillow overnight. How many mornings have you woken up feeling off, even though you got enough sleep? This might be why. Now let's address the second mistake. It's one we make when our emotions are raw, when we're desperate for change. It's the spontaneous haircut after a breakup, the drastic chop after a job loss, the impulsive dye job in the middle of grief. And while the instinct to shed the old is valid, the timing can be energetically dangerous. Because when you cut your hair in the midst of emotional trauma, you risk sealing in the frequency of pain. You see, hair is not neutral. It holds memory. It holds emotion. It is a subtle extension of the nervous system. Every follicle that grows during heartbreak or stress carries the energetic imprint of that period. And when you cut it, not to release, but to escape, you may trap that vibration instead of letting it move through. We've seen this play out unconsciously for years. People cut their hair hoping to start over, only to find that they feel even more unstable, even more disconnected. Why? Because the trauma wasn't transmuted. It was locked in, and energetically they removed their antennas before the storm had passed, leaving themselves spiritually disoriented and energetically exposed. If you've ever regretted a haircut, not because of the style, but because of how it made you feel, it wasn't about the scissors, it was about the unprocessed energy. This is not to say you should never change your hair or a difficult period, but timing and intention matter. Cut your hair when your nervous system has softened, when your body is ready to release, when your breath no longer shakes. That's when the haircut becomes a ceremony, not a coping mechanism. Now to the third mistake, and this one hides in plain sight. It's the products you use, the gels, the mousses, the conditioners. We buy them for scent, for shine, for hold. But how often do we read the ingredients? How often do we pause before lathering synthetic chemicals directly into the space above our third eye? When you ignore what goes into your hair, you're putting chemistry before consciousness. And what does that do to your field? It scrambles it. You might feel off for reasons you can't name. You might be absorbing endocrine disruptors or mood-altering residues through your scalp, and you won't find these warnings on the label. But your energy, it knows, it always knows. You wouldn't eat something without checking if it was rotten. So why would you feed your scalp blindly? There's an emotional layer to this as well. When we treat hair as an afterthought, we lose the opportunity to make hair care a form of mindfulness, a moment of grounding, a ritual of self-recognition. When done consciously, brushing your hair becomes an act of recalibration. When done unconsciously, it becomes just another way to numb out and rush past your body's messages. And here's the hardest truth of all. What you do to your hair every day is either reinforcing your power or quietly eroding it. Let's recap these invisible mistakes, not as a list, but as a lens. Wet hair at night doesn't just make you cold, it steals your clarity. Cutting hair during trauma doesn't just alter your look, it traps your grief. Using careless products doesn't just dull your shine, it muffles your field. These aren't beauty choices, they're energy decisions. And when you compound these decisions daily, weekly, monthly, you shape the tone of your entire year without even realizing it. So what do we do now? We begin again. We bring awareness to the routine. We escam. Is this hair habit making me clearer or cloudier? Is this cut aligning with my healing or distracting me from it? Is this product enhancing my frequency or compromising it? And if even one of these questions stirs something in you, you've already started the shift. Because the goal isn't perfection, it's presence. Not about always getting it right, but about finally noticing what you've been doing on autopilot. Because autopilot doesn't attract abundance. Presence does. Intention does. Respect does. This is why the bonus section isn't really a bonus. It's the bridge. It connects the visible hairstyle to the invisible field it affects, and it invites you, gently but powerfully, back into partnership with your own energy. Because what sits on your head doesn't just reflect who you are, it informs what you become. And tomorrow when you reach for your towel, your brush, your clip, or your shampoo, you'll do it with a little more reverence, a little more care, a little more clarity. And that, my friend, is where real transformation begins. Final. Hair isn't just grown, it's programmed. You can spend a lifetime changing your appearance, but if the energy behind those changes stays the same, your life won't shift. That's the quiet truth behind today's message. Not superstition, not tradition, just reflection. Because while the mirror shows you the surface, your hair silently records the energy you live in, the stories you hold on to, and the future you either resist or welcome. It's not just strands, it's signals. Signals that speak every time you step into a room, open your mouth, or make a decision that shapes your path forward. And if you've made it this far, you already know. This wasn't a video about styling. This was a lesson in energetic awareness, in spiritual hygiene, in remembering that what rests in your crown either enhances your clarity or muddies your mission. Let's come back to what we explored, gently but honestly. How many people unknowingly block their own insight by covering their foreheads? How often do we cling to pain by cutting our hair at the wrong time, not realizing we're sealing in the very grief we long to release? How many nights have you gone to sleep with wet hair, thinking it was harmless, when in reality you were clouding your mental field without even knowing it? These aren't dramatic mistakes, they're common ones. They happen in bathrooms, bedrooms, and hair salons across the world, every day. And that's what makes them powerful, because they're so quiet, they go uncorrected. But now you see them, you feel them, and more importantly, you know what they reflect. Every hair decision is either a declaration of clarity or a reaction to confusion. You can cut to shed the past or to escape it. You can style to magnify your intention or to perform an identity you no longer resonate with. You can ignore your scalp or recognize it as a sacred gateway. You can treat hair care like vanity or reclaim it as a ritual. And what you choose will ripple outward into every other area of your life. That's the real message here. Not that there's one right hairstyle, but that there is a right relationship to your hair, one that's rooted in awareness, not autopilot, one that aligns your external presence with your internal clarity. Because when your hairstyle, your habits, and your healing all walk in the same direction, everything flows faster. Opportunities open, energy responds. You show up, not as a version of who you think you should be, but as the clear signal of who you actually are. That is what New Day Mindfulness stands for. Not perfection, but presence, progress, personal evolution through small but sacred choices. This channel exists for one reason: to help you remember that your home, your body, your thoughts, they're all tools of alignment. And if you treat them with care, they will carry you into the version of life you say you want. So here's your quiet action step. Tonight before bed, pause. Look at your brush, your towel, your pillow. And ask yourself, is what I'm doing with my hair honoring the energy I want to attract? And if the answer is no, don't judge it. Just shift it. One small habit, one clear intention, one new decision. Because that's where every transformation begins. Not with a product, not with a cut, but with presence. If this video opened your eyes, even just a little, I invite you to do 3 things. First, share it with someone in transition. Someone who might be changing careers, healing from heartbreak, or searching for clarity. Second, comment below with the words, new energy, new direction. That's your way of anchoring this shift into your field. And third, subscribe to New Day Mindfulness so I can reach 5,000 followers and continue sharing deeper Feng Shui wisdom, grounded insight, and heartfelt guidance to help you design a life that holds, not hinders, your growth. Because the mission here isn't content, it's connection, clarity, consciousness. And if you're still watching, it means you're ready. So let's build it together. One breath, one shift, one sacred strand at a time.